Hello, my name is Melany Mercedes, and I am NYC Salsa Social's Interview Dancer of the Month.
Can you tell me a little bit about your history in dance and how you got started?
So I actually started dancing around the age of 13, officially salsa, but before that I had always been doing like plays and acting in high school and middle school. So I actually started more by acting, and then I noticed that I really just loved the stage, and I figured out one way or another to get back on stage, and it ended up being dance. So if it was up to me, I'd do anything on stage.
Okay. So you really enjoy all types of dancing?
Yes, I just enjoy all types of entertainment, whether it's hopefully singing, if I can sing sometimes, acting or dancing, yeah.
Okay, that's great. What advice would you have for both students and instructors in the dance scene?
And advice I'd have for students or instructors on the dance scene would be to maybe always remember that no matter where we are, no matter what level we are, whether we're just beginning or we're already professional, that it's still dancing, and it's a fun thing. It's a fun it's a fun job to do and a hobby, and it should never become so competitive where you lose the essence of like it just being a party like all the time. So even when I'm at a social, I'll always try to remember that it's a party. Like we might feel like, oh, it's a social. No, it's a party. It's still a party. So
Yes, and you should enjoy it.
always
Yes.
enjoy it no matter what.
Yes, definitely. What is the biggest challenge you had to overcome as a dancer?
The biggest challenge. The biggest challenge probably was understanding my worth as a dancer. It was because as dancers or anyone that does anything as an art, we always put ourselves down more than like the way other people see us. So while other people might have seen my like great dancing or whatever, I never thought it was good enough to like say, no, I should get paid more this, or I should be doing this, or I should get more of this. So it was more so like respecting myself and knowing that I'm worth the whatever I believe I'm worth, and to make everyone else around me believe that. That was the hardest part, is letting people see you for like what you don't want to see yourself for, you know, like you have to really change your mentality so then other people might see you as like a better person or a better dancer.
Yes, all about the mindset.
All about the mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once you get that, everything kind of flows.
Yes, that's true.
What is, in your opinion, the biggest misconception when it comes to social dancing?
The biggest misconception when it comes to social dancing, I think, might be the fact that when we don't want to dance, whether it's a male or female, the other person asking feels like maybe you're just not into the person, or that it's an attitude thing. And again, it's a party, right? So the way I think of it is it's a party. If in this song, I just want to listen to the song and just enjoy with my friends having this drink, I should be able to say, oh no, thank you, next song. And no one should be getting offended, right? I feel like a lot of people are very sensitive in the dance world, and it should be like, okay, next person to dance with, but we're always kind of looking around to see who's the best person we want to dance with. There's so many people. You don't have to ask me right now or the next 5 times, you know. Go dance with someone else.
True.
Yeah.
We shouldn't take the rejection personally.
Should never take rejection personally in any type of way.
Yes. Who are some of the people who inspire you both on and off the dance floor?
So this is harder for me because I always grew up with like a male figure as my role model, which was Osmad, my like dance instructor. So growing up, I always wanted to also see like women be my role model, and that was also difficult because I didn't know where I fit in the salsa world or anything. So for me, my mom has always been a role model because she's super strong, and she's taught me a lot of things that are just like I have to go for it. And even if I'm in a room with a lot of people, that like I want to command that space, and she's always taught me that. And in the dance world, I will say the only person that truly sticks out is Delia Madera, because she's someone that I've actually trained with in a team under her company. Like in many ways, I've trained under her and with her. So I think just her perseverance, and she's such a hard worker. Like she's been working before I started, and she's still working, which is really insane. And I always told myself, like, if Delia's still working, like that means you gotta keep going because she's always ahead. So it's always one person who I try to look up to as far as measuring. Like she has to be 5 steps ahead of me because that's where she was when I started. So I always kind of say, if she's not doing better than me right now, then I gotta get better, you know. I gotta keep pushing, so that I always feel like I'm always trying to catch up to someone, as opposed to people right now are trying to put themselves on the same level as these dancers, maybe because we're seen the same in the same places, but I'd never think of myself as like the same level of the people I grew up looking at, you know. It's impossible for me to think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to go off of that, you see how do you stay driven?
The hard part about staying driven is it's staying driven. It's hard to stay driven. I can't say that I always stay driven. I definitely have my moments and my days, but I think that's what helps me is that I don't think that I have to keep going for anyone. Like if I want to have my really lazy day, I'll have it, you know? And it's okay for me because I need that mentally and I can't be around people 24/7. And some dancers, I feel like every day they want to do something, it starts becoming automatic, right? It doesn't become like, I want to go to this social. It starts becoming like, oh, I have to go to this social. And then you're not enjoying yourself. So for me, it's measuring my own kind of like break. When do you want to break? When do you need it? When do you want to do this? It's just figuring out my flow of things.
So would you say that it is very important to have personal time?
Yes, it's super
have a
important.
Balance.
It's important to have personal time, to have balance, and to just not measure yourself on someone else's level. Like see if there's this person is, it can serve as motivation because I see like, for example, I'm on Instagram and I'm having the lazy day and I'll see all my dance friends like doing something. Okay, maybe tomorrow I should, you know, but that doesn't mean in that moment I'm gonna get up and say my lazy day is over because they're working. You know, no, it's taking care of yourself. What do you need at that moment? Do you need people? Do you need quiet? You know?
Yes, definitely. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Knowing what I know now, that's really good. I would advise my younger self to start earlier, seeing myself from the eyes of others. Like start earlier. I saw myself a lot from my own eyes for probably the majority of the time, maybe like up to a few years ago, was when I started seeing like how others see me and what do other people like about my dancing, and let me start listening to them more than myself maybe, because something they see that they like and maybe something I'm not seeing. So I would tell myself to put myself down way less, to not let that be such a thing growing up, because it's not about how good you are, it's about how much power you have behind what you do. I see people that don't have as much technique, let's say, and they just want it so bad that they look much better than the person next to them, which is an amazing thing to like see.
So panning off of that, would you say that confidence is a key in this industry?
Yeah, confidence is key. Confidence is key, and it took me forever to figure that out, because in my studio, everyone was good. You know, whether they had confidence or not, everyone was actually good. So it was never a thing where you have to be confident. It's like, nah, you should be confident because you're good. So they never, for me, I feel like they never told me like, be confident, because my dancing always spoke for itself, which is a good thing. However, the confidence comes from the mentality. So when I would put myself in a situation where there were more dancers, maybe my dancing would speak in for itself, but my insides, they weren't. You know, or they weren't speaking to me. They were like, oh, maybe she is better but maybe because that person is just loving themselves in that moment, and that's what I really needed. And maybe like now recently with the whole So You Think You Can Dance thing is what like really pushed me. It was when I stood in the room, I felt confident just like them, like in my own way, in my own world. Like they don't know me, I'm also a great dancer, and I think that's just been the best thing to like really understand that confidence is so important.
While you're trying to find yourself and find the confidence that you need, and now that we know and understand that is the key, do you think that maybe instructors and dance owners should be telling younger versions of Melany that from the very beginning? Because that was something that kind of lacked. Because as you were saying, that you already knew that you kind of was great, but you would question it.
Right.
So that confidence should maybe be taught in the beginning.
Yes. I think the whole confident aspect, even with kids, comes from like even outside of the dance floor. Like, so even if you are a dance teacher and you work with kids, it's even maybe a moment where they're putting on their shoes and they don't know how to tie their shoes. Like that's a moment of confidence that you might give a kid a confidence, and it has nothing to do with dance. But they might come with that and say, damn, I tied my shoes out really good today, so I think it's gonna be a good day and I might dance better. Like, you don't know what goes through a kid's mind. So, and especially having nieces and nephews, like I realized that words of affirmation, of encouragement are so important for kids. And for the most part, we wanna be really like tough on them because they are rowdy and stuff. But it's more so about training their minds and letting them know that from little instilling that they're like powerful and that they're important and that they're good and smart and everything in between that.
Totally agree with
Yeah.
that. Totally agree with that. So what can we expect from Melany Mercedes in the next year, 5 years?
Well, in the next year, let's say I might be, you know, out here in the screens, the big screens. Might be dancing on the big screens about a year, you know, stay tuned. I might be out in the theaters near you. And in about 5 years, I don't know. I do know, you know, I've never been one to ask myself about like the future. I've always been someone that's very present. I think that's honestly, I've been lucky with that because I'm not a planner. Like I don't plan like, oh, I want this, I want that, I have this goal. I've always been very much go with the flow, and I think I've gotten lucky. However, now I'm getting older and I am starting to think about my future, and this is probably the only time where I know that in 5 years I want to be acting. Like I know for sure I want to be acting, whether it is doing anything, I want to act. And especially now doing the whole major picture thing,
Yes.
it pushed me back to like to realize that I missed that. That's how I started. So I want to get back into acting. So hopefully in 5 years.
Oh, I already see
I'll be
it.
doing
5
that.
years. Melany Mercedes.
Yes, hopefully.
Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Yes.
I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. I love it. And make sure y'all follow this page because all the information is always there and they update more than I do. So, you know, make sure you stay tuned.